What seems to happen just about every year, and I've also found that it usually happens around the same time every year. There's definitely other times, but usually in the summertime there is this perceived drought, this perception of a gaming drought. There is a lack of games to play. There is lack of relevant topics as far as news when it comes to the bigger companies and the biggest, most well-known IPs. I don't think things could be further from the truth. Whether you're talking about single player only experiences, which is exactly what this video is about, or multiplayer and co-op driven experiences, there are games to play. You may not have tons of interest in these games, right? You may not have tons and tons of interest. Some of you may not even be aware that these games exist or that they're even coming out, but they do come out. There are new releases, and what I've also noticed is that some of the people that complain also have a backlog of games that they could be playing. Some of them a very large backlog, games that they've never touched or games that they've picked up from, you know, anywhere from 5 minutes to 2 hours. They have games to play, and there are new releases. It's not like the gaming industry's fault that some of these people are close-minded enough to ignore some of these new releases, but nevertheless, there are games to play. So during these made-up droughts, or these perceived droughts of gaming news and just games to play, people just start coming up with things because they feel like there isn't much else to talk about. And some people actually lie to their fans. Some people just outright say things that aren't true, and that's what this video is mostly about, and that's that single player gaming is dying. It's just we get so few single player games. And a couple of months back, I actually unsubbed from a YouTuber. I will not say his name in this video. I will leave a link to a YouTuber that more or less inspired this video, the Gamertron Show, and you can go and see that YouTuber and what he's saying in that video. And it's not like I think he makes terrible content or that I'm bored or anything like that. It's just I feel like he's not doing enough research. At this point, he'll just say things either in the video itself or put something in the title or the description for the clicks and the views, like just making things up that simply aren't true, and we're gonna get into that right now. Here is what's really crazy about the list of games that I'm about to give, is that this isn't even all of the games that one could name for each of these years. And I'm only gonna go back over the last 2 years. I could go back 3, right? But I think that that would hurt the arguments even more, and we don't need to do that. Really, I just need to go back a year. I could just use what we have in all of 2017 and what we have now, and just the first half of 2018, and the argument is destroyed. I really feel like we're spoiled, if anything. There's not a lack of single player games. In 2016, you had Doom, Inside, Uncharted 4, The Witness, Battlefield 1, it had a campaign, optional multiplayer. However you feel about that campaign is irrelevant. It did have one. Dark Souls 3, Dishonored 2, Titanfall 2, many people praised it, said it had one of the best shooter campaigns they've played in a really long time. The Last Guardian, Firewatch, Hitman, XCOM 2, Deus Ex Mankind Divided, Far Cry Primal, Abzu, Civilization 6, Superhot, Gears of War 4, Call of Duty Infinite Warfare, Watch Dogs 2, Quantum Break, The Banner Saga 2, World of Final Fantasy, The Witcher 3 Blood and Wine expansion. Again, I keep saying this, it could have been its own game, okay? It doesn't matter how you slice it, you can say it's not its own game, it's just an expansion, I shouldn't count this, but, you know, getting anywhere from, 30 to 60 plus hours more onto the base experience, to me, again, no matter how you slice it, it's single player only. Hyper Light Drifter, Dead Rising 4, Shadow Warrior 2, Mafia 3, ReCore, and that's just 2016, people. In 2017, we had Zelda Breath of the Wild, Resident Evil 7, Assassin's Creed Origins, Prey, Cuphead, Call of Duty World War II had a campaign, Injustice 2 has a campaign, Super Mario Odyssey, Nier Automata has a campaign, Persona 5 obviously has a campaign, South Park The Fractured But Whole has a campaign, Divinity 2, Sonic Mania, Uncharted Lost Legacy, Wolfenstein 2, Hellblade, Mario plus Rabbids Kingdom Battle, Neo, Rime, The Evil Within 2, Middle-earth, Shadow of War, Mass Effect Andromeda, dog shit, it was broken, but it was single player only, Little Nightmares, Hollow Knight, Battle Chasers Night War, Agents of Mayhem, I mean, these games, people, single player only, with optional co-op and optional multiplayer. They all have a single player-like experience for you to enjoy. 2016, 2017, just getting started in 2018. God of War, Far Cry 5, Sea of Thieves can be played alone, so I'm going to throw that in there. Octopath Traveler, Detroit Become Human, Ni no Kuni 2, Vampire, Pillars of Eternity 2, Frostpunk, and Subnautica. Now again, a lot of these games, you know, single player only with option for co-op and multiplayer. I didn't name probably, you know, 100, 200 games that were also single player only or single player with optional co-op and multiplayer. And we still have stuff like Red Dead Redemption 2, Spider-Man, Shadow of the Tomb Raider, Darksiders 3, Mega Man 11, Valkyria Chronicles 4, and I believe Dragon Quest 11. And I'm probably forgetting at least 5 to 10 games just left in this year alone. And we already know what the first couple of months of 2019 are bringing. Lack of single player games, single player is dying. What is happening? What is happening? We're spoiled, if anything. It's not, look, again, it's not my fault. It's not the rest of the industry's fault. It's not the developer's fault. If you don't have interest in some of the new releases that happen during the summer or in some of the so-called droughts or off periods, that's not really their fault. If you don't have interest in those games, you can't really claim a drought because you also have a backlog of what is probably made up of a lot of great games that you just haven't played yet. I know I can definitely say that for myself. There are tons and tons of games that I need to get to, and to say that this is boring or there's a drought or we're not getting enough single player experiences, this is crazy. This is crazy, man. And even some of the co-op or like multiplayer only driven games can sometimes be played alone in some way. So you could argue that in some respects. So that's the video. That's my take. The Gamertron Show, thank you very much for your video. It really only, you know, just so shall it be written, so shall it be done. You know, me unsubbing from that person seems justified. You know, this isn't new for that channel, and I'm sure it's something that, you know, he'll definitely say something similar again because he's not doing the proper research. Thank you guys very much for your support, for your continued support. I appreciate the views, and make sure you follow me on Twitter. Make sure you follow me on Twitch. Links for those in the description. And do you think that single player gaming is dying? And if so, I mean, given the lists that I just gave you, how could you even say such things? And keep in mind again that this isn't even the complete list of single player games, but if anything, even just based on the 2016 and the 2017 and some of the games we've already received in 2018, how could you even think that single player gaming is dying? I just can't. I as a gamer, I can't figure that out. Thanks again. You guys are awesome. Take care. Peace.